Hi, how exciting. 5 minutes to talk about one of my greatest passions in life, which is making computers do all my work for me. I'm going to talk about creating a catalogue automatically. But before I do that, let's talk about time travel. You're trying to set the clock on your microwave, there's a big crash, and you find yourself in ancient Alexandria in 200 BC, culture of intellectual tolerance and inquisitiveness. And you tell them about aeroplanes and iPhones and frappuccinos, and soon they all want one. But they want to know exactly how you make a Boeing 767, exactly how you make an iPhone, and the precise recipe for a mocha frappuccino. But you're not going to get very far. There's too much knowledge in our complex modern world to be able to know it all. But there's another way to look at this. It is possible to make an aircraft without, knowing where magnesium comes from. And even somebody who doesn't know anything about the technologies of our 21st century, can be taught to brew complex coffee drinks. And that's because this world is just full of infrastructure, complex layers of mechanisms and technologies that can be glued together in new and different ways to help us without duplicating the efforts of the people who invented them. We can put pre-existing chunks of infrastructure to work. Now, it's a little bit like learning just enough so that you can find the right cable to make your iPhone speak to your car stereo. We can add just enough new information to glue pre-existing chunks of technology together to solve new problems. And the sort of approach that I'm going to particularly be interested in is making great use of bibliographic data. Now, you all know what an Onix message is. It contains title information, and it is routinely passed around the industry so that you can update everyone's systems. Most publishers have incredibly out-of-date processes for getting data into their catalogues and AIs. And it seems such a shame, if we're going to the bother of creating an Onix record in the first place, why don't we use that as the source for our catalogues and AIs? Problem is that InDesign, which is what most catalogues and AIs can be made in, doesn't understand Onix XML. It does understand XML, just not the Onix kind. So, these systems aren't talking to each other. It's so close, but not talking to each other. So what we need to do is take that Onix XML and turn it into the sort of XML that InDesign understands. And we're going to do that with an appallingly named programming language called XSL. But all you're really doing is creating a metaphorical cable between these two systems. Once you've got your XSL, you can do amazing things. Imagine you're a publisher with 1,000 titles. You get a web page mocked up, stick a bit of XSL in it, hit a button, and 5 seconds later, you've got a 1,000-page website. Imagine you've got a bibliographic database, like the frankly gorgeous and excellent value one that we've created at Onix Central. It's very easy to get an Onix message out of it. You just hit the export button. Then you go over to your InDesign template, which is already tagged up with all of your XML placeholder text. You can see the tags on the left-hand side on the structure pane there. And if you're a publisher, then you've got a few InDesign licenses kicking around, so it's not going to be a high-cost option. You click File and Import, and what this does is fetch the bit of XSL that you've written to transform the Onix record from something that InDesign can't read to something that it can. And hey presto, all of your data flows beautifully into InDesign. It's all beautifully laid out, and the layout is only limited by your imagination. It's a really flexible tool. You can see all of the data is flowed in there on the left-hand side. I'm going to see another view of that document now. So what you've got here is just one example of getting an existing set of technologies and sticking them together to do something new and useful. This used to take us 3 weeks, and now it takes us 3 minutes. And there's loads of other examples of this sort of approach as well. You can use Photoshop. It's got scripting capabilities built in. We use it to take cover designs and turn them into 3D images, put them in a place where InDesign can find them for our catalogues, so that it's all automatic. Another great example is we've created a little application that goes to the interweb, gets title information so that we can check it and validate it and ensure that it's accurate, and check that the sales are doing what they should be doing as well. So, there are heaps of possibilities for this sort of thing. Take a look within your organisations, see if people are doing something that could be automated. And even if you don't quite know how, I can guarantee that somebody out there will have figured out how to do 95% of it. Bridge that final 5% with your own bit of techie know-how, and you can reap huge rewards. we've done all of this without any sort of IT budget and no formal IT training, so there's no reason why any organisation can't. There's my details if you'd like to get in touch and have a chat about it. It'd be lovely to hear from you. Thank you very much indeed for listening.